Basis is a charter school that is attempting to purchase property at Castle Hills First Baptist Church, approximately 6 acres. And the 6 acres is located on Winston, which is a residential neighborhood that's really a lane, not a street. Barely can fit 2 cars on it. And usually we're having to move off into the ditch in order for 2 cars to pass. And there's usually traffic with pedestrians. There's the kids run up and down the street for exercise, and that comes from Antonian and from Castle Hills First Baptist Church School. And people are out riding their bikes, and it's designed to be a residential area.
And it is a residential neighborhood. They're going to put a school right in the middle of the residential area. There's 4 homes on one side, and there's 6 or 8 homes on the other side, and there's homes in the general right across the street. It's a residence area. It's not an area ripe for commercial development. And that's what people need to know. You're going to destroy the neighborhood of Castle Hills. It's been there for 50, 60 years.
Longer than that, some of those houses. Part of the issue is that Basis is planning to almost double our occupancy with students. They're going to bring in 1,100 students and at least 100 faculty and staff. Exactly. And they're going to have to get those kids to that site. And their traffic study has only addressed the major arteries of Northwest Military and Lock Hill Selma. And they haven't addressed the impact on the streets, the residential streets, which cannot handle that capacity. And they haven't addressed how long of a queuing they're going to have in order to get 1,100 children to and from their facility twice a day.
Well, yes, and that queuing that they've shown doesn't even appear to be possible in terms of the distance that they have for the building and for the area that they need for the traffic to flow in the queue entirely around the school. And of course the traffic's going to be, in the meantime, stopped at every intersection and backed up into the community in front of my home, likely. I live on West Castle Lane, which is just perpendicular from the new school. And I realized that, there's nothing wrong with having a school by your house. It's a great idea, but not in this place. We've got other areas in Castle Hills that are certainly ripe for this kind of development. And they just blow us off when we try to suggest something like that.
Why this spot?
What I've understood is that they want to be between the medical center and the more eastern side of San Antonio, so that they can get a cross flow of traffic that's convenient for their parents. But what their parents have told me, the Basis parents, is they'll go wherever Basis is. So I don't think they have to have it in Castle Hills. This happens to be some residential property that they can pick up as a residential price and not have to pay a commercial price. At least that's what I think they're hoping.
How does the church factor in all this, and is it a factor? And also City Hall. What's City Hall doing about what y'all learned?
Well, it's a open charter school, and you must know, or the people must know, that the city's constrained from doing a lot when a charter school decides they want to put down and build a school. So our city, of course, is trying to see to the health and safety issues that we as city residents are concerned about and try to assist us in that way, but there's not a lot they can do to stop this. The church owns the land that the school wants to buy. They were previously residential lots that the school bought up and held for a very long period of time, intending to put a sports field or sports facility complex there, which never materialized over 10, 15 years. And now they've decided they got to get rid of some land, so they somehow Basis said, oh well, we got some cheap land over here. We can get in there easy, quick and dirty, and nobody can stop us. That's the reality.
What do y'all hope to see happen?
I would like to see Basis relocate. They're an excellent school.
Sure.
There's a need for their services in our community, but there are appropriate places for them that doesn't have devastating traffic impacts and deterioration of an entire neighborhood. The whole ambiance and character of our neighborhood would change with 1,100 students impacting us on a daily basis.
And this is true, and it's in thinking about the students and the parents and the people that are going to be using this school. This situation with the neighborhood is going to be difficult, and it's not going to go away. And so we're going to be dealing with this, and I can see confrontations coming between students and parents and the neighborhood people who just want to use that street. I drive down that street every day from my home. It's one of the major outlets from our neighborhood, and I can't imagine. It was closed for just a few hours the other day, and I was furious because I couldn't get to my doctor's appointment on time, and I was late. So I mean, it's going to mean a big change to our way of life in that area of Castle Hills.
Now, what I understand is y'all are tax-paying residents, and I understand basis is not even on the tax rolls, is what it sounds like.
That's correct. They are
Tax
a
exempt.
nonprofit, so I think they do enjoy not having to pay property taxes to support the community, but in essence, our property taxes and the taxes that we pay support them.
Well, and those schools, those types of organizations do try to assist the city in covering their footprint. So, I mean, you know, we would expect to see that kind of revenue come into the city, at least to support what their part of that infrastructure is. And of course, we in Castle Hills have huge infrastructure challenges. I don't know whether that's going to affect basis. I expect that basis is going to feel the impact of some of that to some degree.
Has there been any discussion of infrastructure improvements if this school comes to them from the city?
Very little.
No,
don't
I
think
haven't
there's-
heard of any. There are stormwater issues that whoever builds on that property has to address, and obviously traffic flow problems that will have to be addressed. And what I've understood is that the city may have some shared responsibility if streets are improved or if drainage has to be amended, which all of that will have to happen in order to accommodate this building.
Well, but that hasn't really been quantified in
Correct.
any regard at this point. You know, there seems to be a rush to just blow over a lot of that and make some little comments toward it, and very generalized, nothing specific.
How does that make y'all feel as a taxpaying?
Not very good. You know, and the thing that we need to make sure everyone knows about this is that we don't not want this school around. That's not the point here. The school is a great school. The whole idea of charter schools is a great thing. We'd be happy to help them find a place that makes sense, and right near Castle Hills, in Castle Hills would be fine, but not in our backyard. Literally, that's what this is to some of the residents over there. It's not right.
I feel totally inundated by a powerful nonprofit entity that can come in and take over our neighborhood. And they are doing it with legislation that they had put into place that basically denies a small city of its ability to regulate through zoning and permitting what happens in their community. And to then have the double whammy of not getting any tax benefit off of the burden all of us have to share is it's a horrible feeling.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking when you think about what's going to happen to our city. And we're powerless. We're really virtually powerless.